it's your girl Nia. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be aware of any new content that I post. And if you're a returning subscriber, you already know the vibes and how we get down. Looking a little rough, but I really wanted to hop onto my camera prior to dance today to really touch base, honestly, put some fresh content out. I have gotten a tremendous amount of support from my last few videos, and I just wanted to say that I really appreciate it, especially with, speaking about the Exjw video. I was not expecting the response that I got because I know what my intentions for doing so was, and I just never was looking for the validation that I really got from it, and just the amount of messages and DMs and hearing experiences as well as connecting with so many people. I just been really appreciative of just all the response, and like I said, I wasn't expecting it, so when I got it, it was just felt really good, and honestly, it's brought me to this point of just really wanting to push some content out there for those who find it beneficial, because like I said, I do different type of content, but if you are viewing this and you may not agree with it, kind of is redundant off the strength that I have found, individuals who have found it beneficial, so therefore that's who this is intended for. So boom, like I said, this is definitely for, the individuals that find it useful, because there is a need for it and there's something for everybody. So therefore, if it's not for you, just, keep away from it, because like I said, this is, some people's reality, and their real life, and it's deep. And it's a lot that really goes into it. So, just because you don't agree doesn't mean, you have to belittle other people's experiences. So I just ask, like I said, if you don't agree, if you're not there or differ somehow, just don't engage, just to keep the peace, honestly. But like I said, the last video, very appreciative of everybody's feedback from it. I wanted to just speak today a little bit about just moving forward in my process, as well as some things that could help other individuals who are at that point of trying to do so as well. As you see, it's been a couple months. I didn't even have my locks in, I don't think, when I was recording the video. Yeah, I had to sew in them. So it's been some time. I actually recorded the video, let alone some time since I actually edited it and dropped it. It's been a few months now, and like I said, it just took a little second to just sit back in the present moment and just take it all in. And I feel like I wanted to just mainly come back on camera once I felt like I was really ready to continue in this space with it. Even though there's so much other content that's coming forth, however, this is a meaningful part of that content off the strength that this really was like the breakthrough. A few things I wanted to just talk about was, like I said, my experience, and how I've been able to just get on with life. I feel like the best place to start is probably with family. One reality that I have come to accept is just where the fault of the religion played in my family, and honestly where it does not. When you're looking at things from a fresh perspective, it just gives you the full ins and outs of the truth of everything, honestly, rather that's family, friendships, life overall in general. If anything, revealed to me the foundation that our family has been built on. I know for myself the type of foundation and family and generational curses that I'm looking to break within my own. I feel like by acknowledging what those setbacks were, or as well as what that foundation has lacked, had just made me want to just put into perspective what I want for myself, what I want for my children, and what I want for the family that I'm developing. This sister, I have not spoken to her. I've tried to reach out a few times, haven't heard back. It's hard sometimes, and sometimes it feels like a little bit of an injustice, because when you constantly don't get to hear from the person, things can become misinterpreted, as well as, you're only going off of other people's perspective, so that has been hard. But one thing that I can say has helped me get through that a little better is just standing on truth. At the end of the day, I know I don't live my life right now in a way where I look to control or try to, mold other people to be anything other than who they are authentically. So I feel like me being on that space and route in my life, I have just kind of just started to just try to day by day find peace in everything. I know my love will never change, but I also know I have to be accountable to myself, and I'm a parent, so there's only so much energy that I can give to certain things that are not reciprocating positive energy back. So it's kind of hard, having friendships or relationships that, really held a strong meaning to you in life that just slowly over the years has really lost its value. That's just like in any type of relationship. When it's not, interchanging, at some point it's going to, weaken. And it's just like I just try to hold on to those memories because, like I said, it is pretty weakened off the strength of it's going on 4 years now. And like I said, I have my days, but like overall, I just take accountability of where I'm at, where God has me, and just continuing just to keep that soft love as well as compassion, because I know if the religion wasn't a factor, I don't think that it would be, at least that blockage with my siblings. Like I said, we overall, foundation of the family is what it's been, but just off the strength of like individuals you share the womb with, that kind of comes a little bit more difficult. My older sister, she's not in the baptized or anything, so I still in contact with her. I talk to my younger brother sometimes, try to check in with him just to make sure he's good. But like I said, I keep my love there for them, no matter what, because like I said, I don't want to do anything that's going to cause, any negative impact if it does come back around. I always just keep praying. You never know how God might turn something around in a way that you just never even imagined. So want to skip off that because, like I said, that's still very sensitive. So, but it's the reality. I'm going to keep it real. It's not easy, but like I said, I'm just keeping it positive. You know what I'm saying? Keeping high vibrations around it because it's no easy thing, and I'm not even going to sit up here and act like it is. So yeah, like I said, that's just other than that, I feel like everything else has kind of been very relieving off the strength of just me living in my complete, full, authentic self. I'm not hiding from anything. Like, I feel like I've been taking life head on for quite some time. Now I'm at the point of just trying to really navigate and do the things that I want to do and set forth on the paths that I want to take, And even when I'm thinking about life on a longer spectrum, I've been thinking about, even with my career, I've even, navigated with that. I changed my major to go back to school for something I actually feel like would be beneficial, which was I ended up changing to social work. So I look forward to, going and getting my degree so that way I can do counseling or like therapy services, for whether it's individuals or family. Like, I kind of feel like that's more towards where I'm leaning. Feedback that I've just always gotten about my demeanor, and, I know I have that open field to make people comfortable, and, many confide in me, and I don't feel just certain things and attributes that I've just seen just validated that that's something that I know I want to do. So I've been accepting that and going off the strength of that. So that's been exciting, as well as, like I said, validating off the strength of me doing something that I really want to do. So, boom, back to it. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to go over a few points that has definitely helped me over the few months. Feel like, overall, I can, say these suggestions with great confidence that it will definitely help you as well. One point that I wanted to talk about was evaluating your intentions, right? So I feel like where people become almost like a statistic in the matter, where you're like, oh, the person who got strung out on drugs, or oh, the person that, just life went to this deep spiral. And honestly, people that end up putting themselves in predicaments that they just get rather sucked back into, rather another religion or the religion, like, those people, I feel like those are individuals who didn't really have pure intentions for discovering the truth within the matter, A lot of times people don't really, even when you think about people, like when they, start drifting off, a lot of times it comes with certain things that they end up getting themselves caught up with. So the genuineness can seem more, or should I say the genuineness of not wanting to stick with the religion seems more questionable, because it's like, okay, are you just doing this because you don't want to, listen to anybody, or are you doing this off the strength of finding that this is not really for you? And a lot of times people discover that when they're already caught up in some other things, so it makes the whole entire process different. I never forget when I maybe within the first year of me getting disfellowshipped, I remember, it was a guy I used to be cool with, he was talking about, I think I made a video or something on my Instagram, and just like about life and just like really taking on anew. And at that point, it was not even just a whole disfellowshipping thing going on. I was going through a whole divorce, you know, so it was a whole different spectrum in which I was even speaking. And I never forget, he messaged me talking about, oh, no, there's no life without the faith and religion. This was the worst thing I could have got myself caught into. And I think I may have mentioned this probably in my last video, like, this individual looked like he was allowing his life to kind of spiral out of control, you know. So when you have other things you might have associated with, it kind of takes away from the realness of it, you know. And a lot of times when you're in a more calm and settled space in life, you kind of can take on the reality of the situation as well. So I would just overall say, evaluate your intentions. Like I said, it's not going to be no easy journey, but your intentions for doing so will definitely lead you to a more peaceful place than just allowing it to be something of like a, you know, a freedom race, so to speak. Life is definitely as permanent as it seems, and everything that you do, man, whatever area you choose to kind of stay stuck in, whether that's, you know, resentment, unforgiveness, you know, you may have been hurt, even the process, you know, depending upon your family ties and whatnot, it may take you a while to just even get through the disconnecting portion and being treated like you did, you know. But at the same time, take on your own stuff with it, you know. Don't take on too much. Don't take on other people's things. Stay accountable for what you need to stay accountable for, and kind of go off of that, and just stay in control of what you do have control over, which is yourself and the way you control your emotions. And that brings me to relearning yourself, which is very, very, very important. You know, really founding your beliefs, founding your your moral system based upon what you know is right and what you know is wrong, because at the end of the day, our conscience is what trains us to make the right decisions as well as the wrong decisions. And one thing I can even tell you about, you know, me navigating myself is, even if I was leaning more towards something that I may have thought was right, I could lean more back to say, okay, maybe that's not for me. Or maybe leaning towards things that I thought was wrong. This may not be too bad for me personally. So I feel like, and even in life, with you relearning yourself, you're going to see how God really has that individual journey for you, you know. And when you start to see that individually in your life, you're going to look at it and see how that really is the case in everybody's situation. But when we are not really in tune with who we are, as well as when we're not in that space of, you know, being weighted down, I feel is the best way I can put it. Because when you constantly are like ignoring or being pushed around the issue, especially with ourselves being young, you know, really founding who we are, you know, and putting that foundation forward, that's already a process in itself. I feel like that's just really important, relearning yourself. Relearning connections. Being amongst the faith that I was in, I really have learned a lot of things superficially. I was doing the things on a really surface level, versus rather it was, you know, relationships with family, relationships with friends, you know, when you are constantly just coasting on the rim of everything. And, you know, artificial relationships come from that, you know, when you're only coasting on the surface, you know, you're not digging too deep here, you're not causing any mischief here. It's like just literally surface relationships. It kind of does really throw off your mentality to how relationships and friendships work and how connections with other people work. I feel like it's important to really understand the type of friendships you want to have, really understand the type of relationships you want to have, and so forth and so on. And that also comes with just, you know, founding your beliefs on certain things, because when you step into the real world, you know, not looking at the other people as detrimental to your spirituality or detrimental to you. These are just human connections. You really want to take on a whole nother take on life, just as far as like experiences and whatnot. But also you kind of just start looking at life in a bit more of a realistic perspective. And another one I would say would be relearning God. You know, that has been very, very important off of the strength of you're not allowing anybody to kind of dictate what that looks like for you. You know, you're looking at how am I having a real and authentic connection? You know, what does that connection look like? You might feel like you don't even want to really step onto like the God scale, but I feel like that is going to just only push you into a completely different
path, you know what I'm saying, without you really just getting to the root of the issue. And I feel like because there's so much hurt that comes with it, you running away from it is not going to really make the problem any better. It may actually make it worse, you know. And that's why even now with my like view with religion, I kind of feel like if it's not really adding to my overall point of serving God, and genuinely that is kind of like because you kind of do see like different opinions, as well as, how can you say, like, you even every religion I feel like has just like obviously the basic spectrum of God and, you know, commandments and things that we should do. I think when you start getting deeper into when it becomes like so structural, a lot of times I can say that can be more of a manly perspective, which gets people caught up like, oh, I don't want to do it at all because that's a man that wrote this, or it's man-made. No. But I feel like if you're sticking along the basic spectrum and really allowing whatever faith you choose to find yourself in to genuinely guide you closer to God, I feel like you kind of can't go wrong, you know. Anytime it becomes like the next degree where now you're looking down on other people, you know, you're judging other people. It's like, because that can become so easy, especially with religion becoming one thing that strokes our ego a lot. I feel like that's where you got to start evaluating yourself on a different level. Like, okay, is this really what I need? Like I said, just more so checking yourself, because I've definitely thought about that for myself. Like, I'm not big on things that just really stroke the ego. Like, what is the real basis of it? And doing your research, like I said, and really that's even for the other point of like learning yourself to figure out what's best for you is the overall point. But just to stay away from it altogether is definitely something that I would disagree or, you know, not suggest, because it's not getting to the root of the issue. And that brings me to the last point, which I wanted to speak about, which was therapy. First of all, I recommend therapy to anybody, you know, on a regular day, off the strength that, you know, having somebody that can look into you, free from judgment, free from any, you know, version of yourself that you may think that they know of you. Like, they don't know anything about you. So it's like having somebody with a fresh set of eyes, being able to genuinely help you navigate through life, or, you know, through certain issues that you may have, is very important. I've taken on therapy probably through multiple phases of my life, and I feel like every phase has been different. It's very important to just not go into therapy thinking like, oh, the first round of it is going to be A1, because it's not. You really have to find somebody that you have a connection with. I can't say I've had, honestly, too many therapists that I was like, didn't connect with too well. But I feel like, you know, you just have to figure out what's best for you. Because once you do, you're going to honestly probably not get through the first 1 or 2 sessions without realizing, is this person right for you or not. But I think that that's really important to just, like I said, have somebody with a fresh set of eyes, as well as a fresh, you know, voice. You know, when you're constantly only going to yourself or certain things for direction, it can you can stay within your comfort zone. But when you have somebody on the outer that can kind of bring out certain points, whether it's by the things that you've, you know, done, things that you're saying, different decisions that you've made, it kind of definitely allows you to put things in a better perspective. And that goes to even finding the right type of therapy, because there's a difference for, I guess people would categorize it as talk therapy versus dealing with a therapist who has like a really structured way of helping you, you know, with the problems that you have. And I feel like especially the therapist that I have now has definitely done that, because you figure I've been with her for over about a year now. Yeah, definitely about a year and a couple weeks now, think about it. And, you know, it didn't just start off with us talking about the religion. I feel like we didn't start getting down to me stepping down and walking away from it until like months later. And that's nothing that she has ever said anything about that made me come to those conclusions. But it was just more so once I navigated through what was the bigger blockage, and then kind of got clear at it, then it was like, okay, let me see what else we're talking about. And then it just, like I said, it's a slow phase, you know. But I would say, without you running away from anything, is going to cause you to navigate through it more quicker. And I know for myself, I've been taken back so much this year that I've been just like, yo, I don't care what it is the rest of the year. Like, I'm just fighting through it, whatever it is what it is, because I really want to go into next year so clear. And I feel like if I just choose to not allow anything to block where I'm trying to go by, not accepting this or trying to run from this, it's been a lot easier to just navigate that way. So that would be like another suggestion I would say for you. If you're trying to really get through it, not rush through it, but getting through it in a sense of just taking it on day by day, but literally not holding back anything at all. I feel like you're going to just watch life start navigating in a completely different way for you, And with this already being, such a heavy topic as is, you need to definitely avoid any type of blockage. If anything, you need to be finding different types of outlets that, works best for you, because you need the mental breathing of it. Like, one thing that I found that I really do like is books. I've always loved books, but just like finding like real books that I really actually want to read. And because I'm on the go so much, I've found that audiobooks is something that I like. And I think it's definitely what is it, Prime? If you're a Prime member, you get like, it used to be free altogether, but it's, I think, 2 months free. Something just piercing in the AirPod and having something positive rolling through your mind. It's been very helpful, because you can get overthrown by your thoughts. Like I said, it is a process, which is life, period. Not to even mention when you've been throwing some other stuff in here. But literally taking it on day by day. But feeding your mind the things in the meantime that you need. Because once you, like I said, start slowly circling up out of, your issues, you're going to then start filling yourself with those thoughts and things that you've been pushing into your mind. Whether that's motivational speeches, sermons, testimonies. Like, you have to figure out what's best for you, and that could be different for everybody. So that would be definitely like a key point that I would, recommend. Like, therapy for sure, but to really help you break this thing down, and it's going to take some time, but don't run from it. And like I said, don't choose to avoid anything, because you're not going to get to that destination point with as much peace of mind that you will have if you just did it full out, And a lot of times I think with therapy it's hard to commit, because you're really going through turmoil sometimes, depending upon how late in the game people choose to go, especially if you figure 40s, 50s and older. Like, when people get past a certain age, how stubborn, just naturally you can become, especially if you're not a person that is used to like taking things on. So, it's just very important to just take advantage of that time, especially while you're young, and you're moldable, pliable, allowing God to really use that, because that's what's useful to him, especially in your younger, youthful years. So I know my battery is about to die, and I would hate to have to change it. So I just really wanted to put that out today. I definitely have some more content coming, but I just wanted to be seen, because I feel like I dropped the video and then went MIA. But no, just a lot of behind the scenes work being done for sure. So again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, and without any further ado, I'll see you in the next video.